Boom! This episode of Talks with KG is sponsored by Carnival Cleaning Services. Quality service at all times. Located out of New York, serving all 5 boroughs. They have been in business for over 15 years. Services include cleaning of schools, cleaning of hospitals, cleaning of houses. It don't really matter. Just link up with Carnival Cleaning Services. Their number is 917-200-4362 or email canaienterprise.com. Also, Jave Auto AC, located number 182 Eastern Main Road, El Dorado, for all your AC needs. Right now the sun hot, so Jave AC is definitely a spot. Boom! Welcome to another episode of Talks with KG, where we keep it real and nothing else but real. And we're back with the special segment with my brother Naldo, the man with the alternative perspective. You know?
Sir.
And I know the people been saying, KG, where Naldo, boy? So I say, no, bad bro, we had to come and talk about some things. We have a lot of things that we to talk about. A lot of things. You know, we had the election. A lot of things happened with that. That is a movie by itself.
Yes.
You understand? Even in the entertainment, a lot of things happen.
I get real cuss with KG, me go like to tell you. I get
so
what kind of thing? From the time you drop an episode and people disagree with you and they don't know you, they calling me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
let us go.
Right? I'm that DJ. In one of the episodes where you say, you know, certain DJs like they ain't taking things serious now, boy. You understand what I'm saying? But a man call me.
Yeah, you like how I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got that.
But it's all
things.
good.
Yeah.
It's all good. You know, we're not here to create no animosity with nobody. I hear any day, there's just conversation. I know the thing go. Right? But let me dive straight into the politics. Right? The reason why I want to dive straight into that too because I've been on the little political run with the show. You know, like I was on the Soca run. And
Yeah.
So I said, let me interview a few. You know, I interview Michaela Pandey. I interview Gary Griffith. I interview Philip Alexander. I interview Hans. Who else we interview, Chinese? That is it? Somebody else missing, I feel, in there.
I ain't seen no yellow, boy.
Yeah, boy.
I ain't seen no yellow,
I was supposed to do some yellow, but if I be real with you, that political run really drained me though.
Yeah, right.
That wasn't my thing, you know, and after I do it, I realized why it wasn't my thing, you know. I went in there very humble, you know, to ask certain questions and to get certain answers. And, you know, while I agree with some of the things being said, I still felt like, you know, there was holding back.
Yeah, well, the thing
certain
is,
things now.
so now it are people who, you know, what have seen me on this podcast or whatever, and they say, but why KG ain't call it for them things? For people who don't know, I would have dabbled in politics for a while.
Yeah.
And there's something I probably never put out publicly,
Right.
but I was actually part of a particular party at a point in time, right? Registered member. And when I say early card holder, so when I say early card holder, close to the executive kind of thing, right?
Right.
At a point in time.
Yeah.
And it's not because I'd like that particular party, because I tell you before, I don't have no favorites, but
Yeah.
they came to me and they wanted my expertise, and I said, no problem, because no other party had come to me.
Yeah.
Right? So I work with them. But yeah, real people message me and call me, dog, how you feel about how Gary moved with KG there?
Right.
You understand what I say?
Yeah.
People who message I never respond because I say that's something I want to talk to KG about because you know people could. I don't want to send no message for nobody to screenshot it and misinterpret what I say, right? But I want to ask you that first before I get into my perspective on that guy. How you feel, you know, with how that play out? Because looking back at it, it seemed a little aggressive. It seemed a little, you know.
I mean, at the time, like while we were shooting, the way he was talking to me, bro, Like from the time he come to me with that energy, it take me back now, boy. But you see, as a man, again, you see, like when you had to go through certain things in life, you don't understand certain behaviors now, you know. And before I even do that interview, I know Gary Griffith was that type of man now. So I know if I'd ask you certain types of questions, you never know where it could have gone.
Right.
But that particular question, I humbly just wanted to know, because I remember a time I did see a conversation circulating, and if you go back and watch the video, you will see I literally was like, Mr. Gary, I have a question, just so I come. I said at that time I see something with you talking about gold and show your receipts. I say I never really understand what that was. English, you know. I never really understand what it was. So enlighten me. Basically, I as a young one asking you what I was about. Now, when I do my research, I realize that it really wasn't Gary who said it with his mouth.
Right.
It was Faris, right? And it was the law that I wanted to pass.
Right, that was the whole revenue authority thing.
Show your wealth.
Yeah.
Right. But them days, Gary was the commissioner. Right. So when you hear somebody going and take your thing, especially like your things like your chain and thing, I guess the energy would have go to Gary Griffith, as in he is the person calling the shots for the police to see, because I guess the people who used to wear the chains were the one who were affected by that statement. Even though the show your wealth bill was much broad, right? But
well,
the gold chains
not to cut it too much,
yeah.
because so I could carry back in time, as I said, because I really involved in politics back then, right? Back then, it was Faris, and I highly believe it was Stuart Young was the Minister of National Security at the time. And yes, they did bring up the people with the gold chain, because they were trying to point out that some of these people, right, who in these areas, these tough areas, rough areas, right? At the end of the day, because it come like they point out the situation with Dole and how he could have buy this car and whatever. So that is where, so that's where the conversation came from.
Basically,
no, the thing
that was a viral conversation. It wasn't really the show your wealth. It was more like, remember Dole went in Range Rover, Range Rover cash,
and he went to the big gold and
everything, and it was a conversation where these fellas gain this money from. So, you know, people on the ground go talk, and so Gary Griffith now was a man who had experience, and he should have experience in interviews too. He should have understand where I was coming from, even though I probably was misinformed that it was exactly you that say it. You should not know he talking about the show your wealth.
Right.
And you just say, KG, what going on? It's not, I didn't say that, but I know exactly what you're talking about. That was the show your wealth bill, and simple. You know, Gary Griffith get vexed with me, right? To the point where, right? Well, on camera, or let's see how we get it, right? I hold my composure, because any day I grew up with respect, bro. I would never disrespect Gary Griffith. Not just so. He had to like disrespect my mother or disrespect. He was just trying to insult my intelligence, basically. I fine with that. You're a big man. If that's your behavior, and the world saw his behavior. And yes, I had people say Gary Griffith bad me up, you know, thing. But a lot of people tell me, I like how you handle it. You understand? Because I a man just hold one order. Me not just going to lose myself because Gary Griffith trying to clone me. Alright, you try to clone me, and then I will take that same clip and put it out for the same people that you want to vote for you. They will see how you deal with me, because I just asked you a simple question. But that was just on camera, right? Off camera, dog, Gary Griffith vexed with me.
Serious.
Earlier, Gary Griffith is angry with me. He is saying I promoting Bacchanal. And all I do is ask he a simple question, and he jump on my case and start to tell me his son have more gold chain than me. Like if he know how much gold chain I have, he doesn't have to act like he know me. He judging me, you understand? And he start the Bacchanal. And when the people see that, obviously, die Bacchanal. Because look how you're getting on with KG, man. Now people watching here like, where you getting on with the man so far, right? Guy Griffith send me voice notes and let me know I had to apologize to he.
Serious.
He say I had to set up a press conference and apologize to he. I say like this man think I's a politician. He think I's Philip Alexander or one of them. Bro, Gary, you know, I had the utmost respect for you. You understand? I never came with no intention of, you know, looking for bacchanal. I came with the intention of being myself and asking questions from my perspective. Other people might not ask about the gold chains because them do wear gold chains. I just wear gold chain. So when I hear that talk, even if it was true or not, if I am sitting in front of you and I heard this talk that you wanted to take man chain if they do have receipt, you could have just answer me, plain and simple, and everything would have be humble. So Mr. Griffith, he wanted me to apologize. So I hope he see this here and know that the reason I'm not going to apologize is because my intention was never to, you know, nah, that was never the intention. I asked a simple question and you went up in your gears and I just rock back, bro, and allow you to belittle me, you know. And I still pour the clip. People tell me that clip could have worked against me, no? Because I could have poured that and people could have been like, wait, boy, Guy Griffith bad up KG, but he's a him sour.
But the thing is, they can't say it's real talk and not pour the real thing.
Correct.
That's the reality in it.
So,
right?
you know, but Mr. Griffith, I have utmost respect for you, you know, and no study it, man.
Yeah, no, so here's the thing, right? Here's my thing with that. Because if you understand Gary and you understand politicians, one of the biggest problems with modern day politicians in Trinidad and Tobago is they don't talk, when they're talking to you, they just operate like they're talking to the opposition or the competitors. Right?
Yeah. When they're talking to the media.
When they're talking to the media, right? And that is one of the biggest problems. That is something Dr. Rowley was real guilty of, Stuart Young was guilty of. They have a way when they address, and some of the younger UNC people, they have a way when they're addressing a question somebody asks, they just feel like if it's the opposing party,
why you
send
so
to ask that
angry?
question.
Why you so angry? Relax. Just answer the dog. People can ask me anything. I will go on an interview and I will allow somebody to ask me, it don't matter what it is though. Things I'm guilty of, things I'm responsible for, it don't matter. I would answer from a real perspective because at any day we are all human. No politician is perfect, but them have to understand that them have to be relatable and them have to be sincere and them have to take accountability and all these different things and humanize themselves and people will relate to them. You know what's a prime example? Look at Obama. You have different opinions on Obama, right? People say Obama was a bad president, some say he's a good president. But in all, everybody love Obama.
Plenty people,
Because, well, plenty people, not everybody. But, you know what I mean? Everybody love Obama. He's Obama, you know, because I believe he understood that. He never come off the grid, you know, come off his square and lose himself.
Let me give you a much more controversial one, right? And I will challenge anybody to do this. Most people won't do it because they hate him. Go and watch flagrant interview with Donald Trump. Right?
Right.
When I watch that interview, I get a totally different perspective of that man.
Donald Trump?
Yeah. Than what plenty people they see, you know.
Bro, it's a real thing. Dog, you know, right? The Trump hate is real.
Right.
I understand why, you know, from a human perspective, right? But logically, I just like you. I could sit down and look at Trump, I look at an interview with Trump, and he will articulate himself so clearly that you will understand why he is probably doing certain things.
What is he doing?
Somebody who can't understand might just look at Trump from a shallow level.
And I remember it, a lot of people. One of the major problems we have in society is plenty of people just listen and see things through their trauma.
Right.
So people tell you, he does see that and you're going to listening like that now, boy. No, because I guess, for whatever reason, I just start everybody off. Let me hear what you have to say.
Me too.
You understand what I'm saying? And then we will go from there.
Yeah.
So, but I'll tell people if they check that, they'll get the human side. And so, like, even as we talking about this, Makila, I think, handled herself pretty well on the...
Big up Makila.
Yeah.
Big up Makila. Makila had that down pack. She understand that from the jump. Like, if you want to be a leader, you had to connect with the people. You know, I think that the reason why the PNM lost the election is because they forgot that the people is the first priority now, boy.
Well, so
the girl hoity-toity now.
So I could get into this with you like more in depth, but like so I'll go back to, first of all, I'm gonna touch on this point and then we'll go into that. You see the idea that people want to say if you didn't vote, you do have a say.
Yeah.
That is stupid.
That shit.
That's
not true.
Because first of all, in any normal society, they'll tell you not voting is saying something. When you don't vote, you are telling
you have a right to don't vote.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And you are telling the parties that we are not happy with what both of you all bringing forward.
You know, that's vote for the lesser evil.
Right?
That is shit. That is programming.
Exactly.
That is slavery. Yeah.
So that is why in most constitutions, if they have under a certain percentage in voter turnout, they have to do over the election.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And there's a reason for that. That is so people could show that they're not pleased by not voting, right? So people who say that if you didn't vote, that's dumb.
That is
right.
Trying to brainwash man.
But I'll go back to a few years ago, working elections, and we went to a press conference at Dr. Rowley and it was a local government election though. And one of the other journalists who was there, they told him, okay, so we see this is what the results looking like, but it's a low voter turnout.
Right.
And Dr. Rowley said at that point, he said, how you know that? You can even see? Now the thing is, I don't know why you would say that, because that is what we just do as journalists. We used to be out there, and as they bring in the box and they tally, they just come right on our board, and we counting, right? So we have an idea how much people it have in each area and how much, right? So we have an idea. And then Dr. Rowley made a statement, and he said, well, at the end of the day, my only concern is the people who vote. And when he said that, that registered to me as a degree of arrogance in terms of when you say your main concern is people who vote, I think as a politician leading a country full of people, your view should always be everybody.
The people.
Why I didn't connect with these other people? Why these people didn't come out and vote?
Correct. Them studying that.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that is important.
It is.
But you see, when you're arrogant, then you take this position, well, to hell with them.
Right.
And you could never run a country with to hell with them.
Never. It does never work. It's never work. It's never work. And as I say, that is why PNM lose the election.
Right? And
it's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad.
I don't find it sad. But
I find it sad. Let me tell you why I find it sad. Right? In my perspective. Who vex loss. Right? Now, me not a political man.
You come in a yellow water, I just let you know. Anything you do.
Well, right now you can't flash yellow. And a stain yellow. No, anything you rock with the iron oil catching me. Like I watching videos on TikTok, and if somebody like has something yellow, I feeling like they doing that for that reason. Like yellow is the code now. That kind of way. So this thing was real serious this year, man. But yeah, I know politics, man, as in like really loyal to one party and them kind of vibes. I grew up in a PNM household. I'm not afraid to say that. I grew up in a PNM household. My grandfather, my grandmother, my parents, everybody I know is PNM till the dead. You understand? So I guess I was more on that side of things now, as in the sense of if I had a vote, I'll go vote for PNM. But the reality is I only vote twice in my life, right? And I vote one for PNM and one for UNC. You understand? I vote when I vote for Kamala to come in power, because I really wanted to give her the chance. She was the first female prime minister. Patrick Man, them hot to me head, all kind of thing. We say, all right, let me give Kams a little chance, and I vote for Kams. And then, we see what people say when UNC was in power. Everything was so good, and everything was so good. But why we vote them out? We vote them out because we wasn't pleased, as you say, right? We wasn't pleased as a nation what the UNC was doing. And I vote for PNM. Rowley, right?
Right,
Right, and I vote for Rowley. And I tell myself I'm not voting again because Rowley come in power now. And it's the same failure, right? But one thing I must say, you see that talk of people saying PNM don't do nothing for people. Right?
Yeah.
I can't relate to that, right? So that's why I say it's sad. Here why I say it's sad. I didn't have this mindset all the time. As you grow, you just learn.
Right.
You talk to certain people, you be around certain people, you have certain conversations, you just learn. I start to observe politics a little closer in the past few, how long, right? Few months, I would say. Just by having conversations and things now, you know? And I start to dig. I start to do research, you know? You know, as a man used to always say had opportunities for the youth.
Right.
I used to say them things, you know? And I still believe it to a certain extent, right? I believe it could be more. But when I did my research on like what the PNM was providing for the young, because right now we don't have a Ministry of Youth Development. Right? No, that's a serious thing. That hurt me. Because remember, I cry in that pain. I say, hey, Ministry of Youth Development, like we need more of this, we need more of that. You know, foster comments, And when I was doing my little research and I was watching to see like what foster them was doing and whatever, I was seeing good things. I was seeing something that I could have watch and say, all right, this look a little different, you know. Big up Melinda. I don't know if you know Melinda. You know, she used to do a lot of social media things for them. Kwesi Robinson,
right?
You know, so they were like something different that the party probably didn't have. Let me say 5 years ago.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
When Kwesi and them got involved, Kwesi, I get Foster and them.
Foster.
I get them because
real is real.
Yeah,
you know, nobody am perfect. I don't know no backstory or nothing. I just talk about like what I observe and things I see now. And I see things that like when I see the library went up in Locketa. Dog, ask Shiny, how much time I tell you, boy, let me go up in library and read book. Like before that library there, I always used to look at libraries as something that is something impactful, bro. You know, like I wish I had a library in my neighborhood, like a proper library.
Right.
No small room thing with some old books. Proper library, brother, where you could go and get knowledge and be in silence and study and meditate and all these things. When I see a library went up in Locketa, that was just the other day though. You understand? I was like, Locketa, big up all yourself. You understand? Foster, big up yourself. Then I see the other little programs. Them had programs for the youths to go and do, and them paying you to do the program. You know?
Yeah. No,
that's another thing. Them had grants that them was given out. But all you had to do was do a course. And the grant is there for you. Now, how you could say the government is doing nothing if these things are available? I believe that people want the government to help them to success or some kind of thing.
I hear what you're saying, but here's the problem. And I had to be real, as I tell you this already, I had to be real careful when I'm talking because I know we're trying to put down nobody. I'm not trying to make nobody sound totish or dumb, right? But we have to understand that there's a demographic of people in this country who not going out and seek information.
Right.
Because the information is there now. But if you stay in your house,
you wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know. If you come out on the block, you understand what I'm saying?
You wouldn't know.
Nobody on the block.
And tell any of
them thing.
Yeah.
No, here's my thing though. I could talk for Locketa and Bonnet, right? Bonnet, I spend a lot of time in Bonnet and live in Locketa now. The problem with Locketa is Foster. I hear people saying, "Oh, Foster wasn't present in the constituency, or whatever the case may be in Locketa, or whatever."
That's what they say.
Right, that's what they say, right? And he make real promises and whatever.
Right.
No, he might not have been very present, but he had a very active office. I would tell anybody that if you call and you might get to see him.
So you from Locketa, right?
Right, yeah.
How I saying?
So the thing is,
you know, dog, I say Locketa is the most deceitful place in the country.
Nah, but you see,
how?
No, but you see, at the
end, red dread.
No, hold on.
I read all later.
No, but at the end of the day,
Locketa make history.
But at the end of the day, Watts was Foster right hand, no. So at the end of the day, when they vote for Watts,
I know about that.
Yeah. So
that will go on there?
Yeah, what was PNM all that time? What's now jump ship there?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So for the people in Locketa who Watts was connecting with, because you remember as I say.
Yeah, because I really see people saying the good with the boat.
Right.
I was like, oh, the good with the boat. Also, two of them was connected.
Yeah, two of them was connected.
Everybody know two of them. So some go be with it.
Right. But then what happened was, because Foster was so involved in the Ministry of Youth, he was in the constituency. You would see what's more, people would deal with what's more, and people felt more that connection to him. You understand what I'm saying? No, they ain't watching any help that he would have given them. Would have been on PNM strength.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Back then, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And I big up him, he win the seat, and we hope that everything continue. Yeah. Because I will also say, at the end of the day, if Foster won the seat, but UNC won the election, things might have crippled for Lockett the same way. You understand what I'm saying? So, it's a ticklish thing.
Yeah.
But
what I was saying though, it's just that why I say it's sad is because I just feel like people vote off a lot of misinformation, this wrongs, and not everybody, not everybody, because the reality is people want to change, right? But I have a funny feeling in my heart. I don't care who do agree with what I'm saying right now. Just me and how I personally feeling. I just don't have a good feeling. You know,
serious.
I don't know, boy. I don't have a good feeling
with this administration.
Yeah.
All right. So
I
understand.
I don't see them guiding this country in the right way, bro.
Nah,
I just don't see it. I don't see it.
I understand, but as I say, there are things conversations that do happen on the forefront, right? That conversation that wouldn't make the news because it would be difficult for the news to prove these things. That's why they wouldn't see it, right? But because once again, you're playing with politicians, foreign politicians are not going to come out and say certain things, right? So in that regard, I think, in my opinion, I'm going to say in my opinion here just to make this safe, right? Yeah. In my opinion, I think they have a lot of leaders in other countries who did not want to do business with Dr. Rowley. With Dr. Rowley. Right? Yeah. So there's a possibility.
No, but I hear that same talk about Anti-Cam saying it too, you know, like this to say certain people do view her as a strong leader now.
All right, so
I mean, all that propaganda people go always say.
And it could be true as well, because it could also be that a next country could prefer to deal with her because they could get away here. Right. That could, you understand what I'm saying? That could also be true. You understand what I'm saying? Two things could be true. So now, if those things happen to work out, the country could benefit by the way now, boy. You understand what I'm saying? So, and because, so, for instance, most people didn't realize, most people don't pay attention to them things, but there was tension between Dr. Rowley and Donald Trump. Right? And you saw it from the last time Trump was in power. When Trump was in power before, and they wanted to deal with Maduro. You remember?
Yeah.
And he was trying to work out with Rowley and them so they could deal with Maduro. And they realized that it's apparent that Maduro and Rowley and them have a decent relationship, and Rowley wasn't taking the same stance that Donald Trump and them wanted. And they had a meeting in the Caribbean, and they left out Dr. Rowley, and I think they left out Rav Gonzalez too, I think. St. Vincent Prime Minister. But I remember for sure.
I remember that, yeah.
And so it always had that ticklish thing between them. And then it had a couple other things, because it had some statements Dr. Rowley made that everybody does make. But the problem is when you are the head of a country and you make them statements, you understand what I'm saying? And you ain't calling the shots like Trump and them. So they had a little thing towards him. And so you realize as soon as Kamala won, right? Marco Rubio and them sent out a tweet, which he is the I think they call it state secretary or whatever for the Trump administration, right? Dealing with them foreign countries and them. And he said, yes, and she's a strong leader, and she and she, right, whatever. And so the thing is, there could be a possibility that things could look up in our favor because of that.
I wanted to, you know. At the end of the day, I could never say I want them to fail, because if them fail, I can't say I fail, but
the country would fail, and life will get hard for everybody.
Correct. It's a serious thing now. So I want them to succeed, you know, but that's just how I feel in my heart, you know. I watching, you know, I observing, I see some things come up. I want to talk about them things on the propaganda thing in the news already about the Whitehall, and she want to use the Whitehall and da-da-da, you know. So I watch it, you know. So it's that, but we wish Anti-Cam's the best, you know, and we wish UNC administration the best, you know.
Hey, I want to wish Orlando the best too, boy. Oh, yeah, boy, Orlando, boy.
Big up Orlando, boy.
And the while Orlando with this one, but you get through this one.
Yeah.
The more he was calling the results for Carnival.
Yeah,
and you missed that result.
I get through
you get through this time, Orlando, boy.
But Maka loses it.
Yeah. But not by much. And
I feel Latif Maka. I feel Latif
well, they're saying now, where they say thing, ballot boxes were missing and
whatnot. I feel Latif Maka.
Right?
I get that feeling too. I get that feeling, sir.
But I would admit, even other than watching the seats that UNC won, right? PNM win some seats by the skin of the teeth too, you know, bro. I see that when I see one of them Aruka something, whatever, by 200 and something votes, you know. That is the skin of your teeth, you know. 200 and something votes, really and truly. That is skin of your teeth, you know. Right? So, I mean, people want to change, and I am a person, I am open to let me see. I honestly don't think that, and I think everybody needs to stop this thing where they're trying to make it seem like these people are going to run our country into the ground now, boy.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Well, I gain that feeling, bro.
Nah, not into the ground.
I gain that feeling.
I don't feel like I run it into the ground.
But I don't know what is the ground.
Right.
We probably on the ground now. You never know.
Right. So that we remember now. Apparently, this deal that everybody say was trying to go through for the longest while.
Right.
I don't know how these things just go, but a lot of these deals could wrap up in a few days. But we were trying to orchestrate a deal between Guyana and us. So we would refine Guyanese oil.
Right.
And they seem to want to head speedily forward with the deal now. Right? Talk in the background and whatever, this background talk, and as learning this background talk, they say that Guyana was supporting the UNC with the campaign behind the scenes. Right? So, if it was a simple thing like that, if they open up the refinery and we start to refine Guyanese and Suriname oil, you see that little $500 limit on your credit card, US limit, or $1,000, whatever, yeah, that could go.
Yeah.
We could go back to living normal again. It's something as simple as that.
Yeah, we go see.
Right?
We go see. You know? Alright, moving on. You tell me I have a bone to pick it now, though.
No, even I have a bone to pick it with the Makila thing first.
Makila?
So, yeah, with the Makila Pandey thing.
Right.
When you all were talking about the government helping the artists and whatever now, boy.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
My concern in this is this, right? If you have an industry, your industry is supposed to be able to support itself.
Right.
Right? I don't think and then that is the next thing. Once the government gets involved in supporting, then the government will want to censor.
Not necessarily.
Alright, let me hear why.
Not necessarily. Because I think that when people, we say we want the government involved, because what you say, if that what we really mean, that would be crazy. Like you want the government to be part of the music industry.
No, in terms of helping artists or whatever the case may be.
Nah, the government can't really play a role like in that angle basically. But what I does, I don't know what other people, but what I just see it as is the reason why we just ask for that is because remember everything connected, right? We're trying to make the country a better place, right? We have a country that is evaded with crime. Where it coming from? The young ones. Them is the ones that are shooting up the place, bam, 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 bam. Why are they doing these things? We had to ask these questions because, I mean, it has plenty of reasons.
Right.
You know, hundreds of reasons. But one of the main reasons is, what data say is, lack of opportunities.
Right.
You know, some of them just home, they on a block, the linemen, wherever, they ain't doing nothing, idle hands, the devil just find problems for them kind of people. So, I believe that the government should make, how to put it, be intentional with paying attention to the young inner city youths. I won't call them ghetto youths. Somehow that word we have to stop using.
Right.
Because I find like when we say ghetto too, like people let's see Bitam and St. Paul.
Right.
You know, but inner city youths is we in Arima. You understand? People from Laketa. You understand? People who live in regular areas, people who probably didn't grow up with a gold spoon. You can remember, support is a real thing, right? Like as I always tell people, it high youths who grew up in homes where mommy could have buy the best football boots for you, Mommy could have buy the best books for you, the best bag, the best everything to make sure that you have the best to
go forward.
Right. These are people, these are children that are privileged, right? What about the other youths? Who go in and help them? If not the government, who go and help them? Me? Yes, but I could only do so much, right? So, like we said, people like Foster Cummins. If you're the Minister of Youth Development, what exactly are you trying to develop? You just want a man to be a plumber? You just want a man to be a carpenter? When it are youths out there who you could see that they could make it if they had help.
So, I understand your point.
Basically it.
So I understand your point. When you have it more general, I could appreciate that point.
Yeah.
Right?
No, but I basically think it's like just being intentional with, because it's not just the music. You know? I just talk for the music.
Right.
But I was a footballer too, and I used to talk for the Football Association too, as a sense of, in the ghetto is where the best footballers has come from. History proved that internationally is impoverished children that work.
Yeah, they're looking a way out, right?
These, like Serena Williams, no matter who you call, like Mike Tyson, they were poor people that had the talent. We had to intentionally understand that that is really a thing. Right? So things like Trinibad and Zest and all these things, these are also products of the inner city talent now. But them type of children too had the help that the other people have. So what's wrong? The crime now is coming from these particular places. But yet still, mass talent is coming from these places too. So instead of trying to lock up a man, it's easy to drive in and jump out and lock up the gunman and put him in a jail and pay for him to stay in the jail, because it's money to put a man in jail.
And to keep him there.
It's money to put a man in jail. So you're doing all that, courtroom, all kind of things happen at court. Judge, you getting paid 80,000 a month just to do that. It's all kind of thing. When you could take that same effort, that same finance, and finance the other side of the thing, like be real, Naldo. So it's deeper than just helping our music industry. You know, it's about we trying to figure out how we could help the country, help the youths make better decisions as a country. The youths and them begging for help. But imagine begging for help, Naldo, and they still don't want to get it.
Right. So
if he wasn't asking for the help, is one thing, you know, they could leave it. But if you hear in men saying, oh yeah, we had the talent, oh yeah, we had the music already, we had this, we had that, why not invest in the culture of that? You done investing in the Carnival, and you come on.
But the investments in Carnival is poor too, don't get me wrong.
And the investment in the sports is poor.
Right.
The investment in the investment in everything, Naldo, is poor.
So
that's what we want.
We have a management issue. I would agree with that.
That's
right?
what we want.
The thing is, but I think multiple things could be true, right?
Yeah.
Because let me be real. As much as we have youths out here who crying for help,
inner city youths,
youths,
we stop use that word.
Who crying for help.
Yeah.
We have a lot of them who. Some of them, there's only talk that they were helping them, bro. Let me be real.
That is a real thing too.
Right? Right.
But let me just focus on the ones that probably won't be helped.
And then let me discuss this also. Let me be real.
Yeah.
And we have to understand the mentality of plenty of this youth too. KG, if he's a good youth man, nobody can entice you to hold no gun and shoot nobody or kill nobody.
No.
Hold on.
No, sure.
If it's a good
it's a real thing.
Man,
it's a real thing.
Right?
Yeah, of course.
That's the reality in it.
But it has so much sides to it.
No, this is what I say.
It could happen, eh?
Right, plenty of things could be true.
You could be a good youth man and still don't get whacked.
No, the thing
life is a funny thing.
I think one of the major problems we have in this society is the social fabric of the society on the whole has fallen down, right? Because, let me just say I grew up in Bonnie. And that some men was on clown thing. If I started lying wrong, them fellas doing clown thing, somebody's going to let my mother know, because my mother not home, she working. Right? Hey, I see your son lying wrong with them wrong fellas and them fellas and them. You understand what I'm saying? But no, so everybody have a part to play in this.
Of course.
So, because this idea where people tell you, don't have nothing to tell me about my child, mind your business. That's not your business, because And we always say that it doesn't be everybody's business until your child end up in problems.
Okay, of course.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it is a holistic thing. Now, as I say, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree in terms of as well. In my opinion, I think MPs should not have ministry posts. They should not be in cabinet, in my opinion. They wouldn't like that because obviously it's 2 salaries and this always makes sense to them. But in my opinion, you see how the same way they walk around when they wear a vote?
Yeah.
You should be walking around like that every friggin' week.
Yes.
You're supposed to be in my community.
Yes.
And when you see the fellas on the block, I can come and tell them fellas,
right.
Here now, boy. You know it had this program. You know it had that program. Look at flyer.
So you said what you saying there, basically, that is how I just see it too. So when I say help the industry, you see, men go hear that every time, and they are next thing now, every time we hear the word government, we just think about this big palace of people, you know, not understand that government are them working for we. You understand?
Yeah.
Them put themselves there to work for we. You know, we working for them. You know what I mean? Them working for we, right? Them supposed to be on the ground. Them supposed to know KG does do a podcast in his gallery every Friday. Them supposed to know that. The MP of Arima supposed to know his lights, camera actions going on in she constituency. So to me, that is the problem. You know? I'm not just picking out one thing like music industry. If I was an MP of Lokita, as I saying, I would have know who's the baddest footballer. And I would have make sure I create opportunity for he because he's the baddest footballer in my constituency. I would have know who's the best singer. I would have know who's the smartest person academically.
Right.
I would have know these things. I would have know who Tanti's sick. I would have know who depressed because them men would have come and tell me, hey KG, saddest man out and down, boy, I come and talk. I just live that life today.
Because in certain countries, right, where crime even much worse.
Yeah.
When anything play off us, the man in charge is nowhere, no.
In the ghetto, right? In the inner cities, right? The community leaders. What you feel that's be happening? I see it with my own eyes. I see men come to these men and say, yo, size man, don't pelt a big son, break my man when shielding. You should have call.
Yeah.
So that's why these people, let's look up to these people because they governing, they have respect. They governing the ground.
And the thing is, the community leader should really be the MP.
The community leader, right?
That's it.
But again, you know, you got contracts and thing. But the reality is the nature of how them community leaders just run the community is how, well, besides the crime, because people go and see us and like KG been killing. Let me tell you something too. If you being real, they talk with KG. The beat-up community, how much times will I see a man dead in there? Not be real.
Yeah,
Just talk about beat-up.
You might, to be fair, to be fair, I
live in Arima. No man does in Arima. No man does Pinto. No man does Malaba. No man does Loketa.
But people will tell you that plenty time when they catch men doing shipping outside, it's be men from them communities. People will say them thing.
Them can say the what? Them don't know that. Them just saying that, right? But the reality is, them communities don't really be on that. My point is, the community leaders, just govern the community. Even if the man going out there and do whatever they're doing, the community, the train can come out and play, money running, Tanti selling she breastbone. People just feel, them ghetto people really just were but their lifestyle day to day is a happy life, you know, for sure, you know. You understand? Them living good, you know. Just some of them going through little pain, but financially, who can get work and whatever.
But I just tell
the community itself, nice.
Plenty of them, right? Plenty of the inner city people.
Yeah.
They live better than.
No, I tell you.
Plenty of us. I will say us. You know. I know it's yours because
I tell you.
When we out here paying $6,000 mortgage and
$4,500 a month and sometimes in rent
and there's a serious thing, you know. When we paying $6,000 mortgage, $4,000 car loan, right? People say, oh, you don't need all them things. But unfortunately, when you're living out here, you want to keep up with the Joneses. You want to keep up with the Joneses, like me.
Life is life.
And then society tell you, right? Because here's the funny thing: they just watch society as society spitting on them.
Yeah.
But so remember, better stay out of the society because the society gassing people in the next direction to go mad, you know.
The fuck them.
You know what I'm saying?
telling you,
right? So. And society, well, you have to buy a house. You don't know a house yet? As I tell you, a $6,000 mortgage. Us one person in the house in our marriage lose the work.
Yeah, that's it.
You're home.
You're doomed. You're depressed.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. But basically, as I was saying, is as what you were saying too. It's just that, you know, like the government had to change the strategy to the thing. So I say that as the music industry come down more, as you say, every week I supposed to be seen.
Yeah.
Every week.
And don't come and sit down in the office.
No.
Because when you wanted my vote, you didn't sit down in the office. When you wanted my vote, you come with music truck. You don't want to come with the music truck every week. But you come, you and a team, and you have a clipboard. And so how we could help you? And you're writing down when you want my vote.
You know, you have conversation with people.
Right? Come out, all you're supposed to be walking around right through. You're walking around and as I tell you, you might meet somebody who, because there's some people too, sometimes they shame, they don't want to come by the office. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying?
That next thing too, I interviewing one of them, you know, and one of them talking about where to walk. That is something like the like to say. Gary say, what? I walk to the tip of Scorpion and to the tops of Calvary. What you do? Me don't care where you walk, bro. Is it a walkathon? What you do? You understand? Let me stop playing.
And my point is, you want to tell me about your walk, but you only walk when you're looking for votes. Right? Because, and let me talk to the ladies here.
Good, boy.
Because,
drink. You talk now.
Yeah, let me talk to the ladies here. Ladies, if a man only calling you when he want something.
What I mean?
And how serious you taking that man, if you understand what I'm saying. If that's the only time that man calling you, so at the end of the day, let me be real, dealing with this politics thing and thing. We have to call them out for that too.
Yeah, boy.
All they need to be more present. The next thing is, they just put all these things in place, right? As you're saying at the PNM do. And I could bash Kamala and them for doing that with the laptop thing. Because all they come and give everybody laptop, right? 5 years a laptop. But all they didn't get the school books soft copy. So what we doing? My thing is, get the school book soft copy. So our parents and have to go and spend $2,000 and $2,500 every year. And if you have more than one child, you're spending, sometimes your teacher and you're spending $7,500 that you don't have.
Damn.
You understand what I'm saying? When them school books could be soft copy and just load on the laptop, you use it and you understand what I'm saying?
I see, it's a racket in that business.
No. School book racket is there. That is
$1 billion racket.
Yeah, that's jet racket. No, but at the end of the day, pay the authors a stipend. Right? Give them something.
Stipend? What is that?
Right? No, because the authors and them still have to pay to print the book, so you don't have to pay to print no book again. You ain't going through all them things. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now you just get a stipend. If you are custom making $1 million, you're going on.
Make a half.
You get half.
Yeah.
Right? You either because we're moving forward without you or not, you know. So right, and then you do the books and them soft copy. So in my opinion, that is where Kamala and them fall real short back then. And I had 2 children, so I could tell you I went through that buying books. You understand what I'm saying? I'm still going through it. One finished school, but right? So all learners do that, and I agree. They need to be way more intentional and they need to follow through.
Yeah, understand what's going on. You know, like understand what's going on. You know, like remember the Trinidad and Tobago is 1.4 million of us. It's not much. So it should be easy to pay attention to, just like how they use all the influencers to win the election. Because they understand that these people have impact. Or they use them for a certain reason. Others watch the games, you know, and know it's games too. So I had to get serious with them too now, boy. It's one thing to play the games, because there's use Trinibad music for the play to win. It's all kind of thing I've been watching and saying, look how conveniently all they know us. But when it's time to knock glass and do proper business in this life, because I be right now, Naldo, Stuart Young was a shareholder in Synergy TV.
Right.
So that goes to show that even though, as I say, we just watch government as government officials. They are regular people too.
Right.
Stuart Young must be knocking gas with Marshall.
Right.
Call KG to meet Marshall. Huh? You understand? All of we's one and all.
Yeah.
All of we Trinidad. They're America, boy.
Yeah, it's that small.
They Trinidad, boy. The only way we could change this place is if we really take that serious. And when you meet them in person too, you just realize and all these normal people. Regular people. Yeah, regular people with regular mindsets. You understand? They're just they're upstairs now, boy. You understand? But all of we Trinidadian, all of we know the culture, all of we understand. That's the next thing I appreciate about Trinidadians. A lot of us, even though, like, no matter how high we is, we could still appreciate our doubles.
Right.
You know, like Trinidadians have that type of energy. You could be Rowley, Stewart, and Kamala. You could still drink a white.
You could come back on to it.
You could drink a white too.
No, this might sound a little
Trinidadian.
That is why I just quote some people talk about Kamala being a drunk or whatever, right? People talk about
Trinidadian.
But we just do.
Trinidadian. That's and that's what I mean now.
We just do. We just knock it. We just drink.
That is who we is.
Yeah.
We just wine. We just drink a thing.
Right.
We just live. We just eat our doubles. We just bust our pot. We just curry our chicken. We just curry our duck. You know, so as I say, we have to understand that too, that we are one people, and we just talk about it, we just say it a lot, you know, together we aspire, together we achieve. That true? That true, man? That not true. So let we really practice that now, as MPs, as people, as everybody. You know? You say you have our next bone to pick.
Right,
man.
so I have our next bone to pick here, which is the Sean Storm. Now the thing is, I watched the whole interview. Right. But for the people who didn't watch the whole interview and just watch the clip where you're talking about the soca artists, when you're saying
soca artists don't bust nobody.
Sean Storm saying not necessarily bust, but you don't see them flying them.
Yeah, you don't see that. Yeah, you don't see that.
Right? But anybody talk to you about the next side of that? Because I sure by now. Because I said I talk to you about that.
Of course, I know soca group. So them fellas cut all kind of flick. I don't believe none.
Well, I know what they tell you. Right?
Yeah, what they say. Naldo, I'm glad you bring up this topic here. Yeah, one of the main things they're telling me. Soca artist price not as high as dancehall artist price.
Right.
So they cannot afford to bring nobody with them like how a dancehall artist could afford to bring artists with them. Now, I don't know if you believe that, right?
Well, all right, but so you want to continue because it's not just price. What it is respect, right?
Respect.
No, a lot of them probably wouldn't want to say that because they don't want to feel like people don't respect them, right?
All right.
But I'll give you my experience and I'll give you a conversation yesterday with dealing with an artist. One of the biggest artists in Trinidad right now.
Right.
Somebody called the book.
A soca artist?
Artist. I just want to say artist.
We're talking about
everything, right?
Artists, right?
So, but let me tell you what has been my experience. And I talk more dealing with bookings. We organizing Pucci Shabbats ago, right? To a show in our next country. And here we need 3 tickets. We need 3 plane tickets, 3 bedroom, 3 hotel rooms, whatever.
Right.
And plenty of them out there. They started talking. So why is 3? The DJ, the manager, the artist.
Right.
So we can't use one of our DJs? No, it's a set. The set is practiced, the set is rehearsed for it to sound good and be tight.
Right.
So why the manager have to come?
Right.
Because the money handling online and also the manager have to come.
Okay.
And this is the kind of pushback we start to get. Let me get right? And that is, I get out with other artists, dealing with other artists. At that time, I was doing one for same purchase too, and it's my DJ who I went up because I went to play in that event too. It's my DJ after DJ for purchase because that promoter coursing to spend money, right?
Right. No, but
right. Let me get our next one up to what I'm telling you is a big artist right now, right?
Right.
And having a conversation about a booking in August here. Person want the artist and they think in August. Right? Outside of the country. So there's the price for the artist, right?
Right.
But here what's going on. You don't have to buy no ticket because we have a booking across there already. You don't have to buy no ticket.
Right.
Right? We might just have to work out because the date is the hotel accommodation. We don't have to buy no ticket for the artist. But still, boy, that's too much money, boy, dog, boy. That's too much money for the artist, there, boy.
Promoter crying pain.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
No, the thing is, I've also been in the circles where people bring down Jamaican artists here, and are telling a KG
and get them everything.
And get them everything. And it had Jamaican artists learning, you know what going on. It's 15.
Right.
And then promoters here, because I can't talk for promoters outside here. I never book Jamaican artists for people outside, right?
Right.
And them promoters here, okay, and they let you know here going on. You see, we have our rooms We have a floor, our room's on, we have to get the whole floor.
Right.
So with that 10 room on this on this floor.
Because there's big artists.
Right? And
there's big artists.
And that's the reality.
Right. There's big artists. We know that. Right? Now you say that soca artists go through them kind of problems, promoter money tight and thing. I believe that.
Well, let's talk that money tight.
Right.
I don't think the money really tight. I think let's talk that.
Right. But I also believe that will happen all the time. Right? You might bounce up some promoters that failure with them. And to me as an artist, like let me say I Patrice Roberts on that level of artistry, and that was promoter dealing with me, I'm not performing in that show. And I believe like if soca artists and I'm not doing that, that's probably a reason why they're treating all like that. Because you don't know your word first. You understand? And I see artists build the word. I remember Lava and all, the last interview that I did with Lava, died before she had ring finger. She talk about that. She say, KG, if I had to turn down shows just to keep my word, I will. And that what she was really doing. She was saying, like, if people have to see me less and and she ring finger and she bob the bill and everything. Now all you have to pay Lava, she big money. And have to pay for she entourage to come. Because you know if she coming all the dance, she will shell the place. So other artists have to believe in themselves too. If that were really going on too, like we just say artists really going through that kind of madness. I is a big artist and I can't bring my manager. Like, no, me ain't coming that show. I go eat bourbon. You understand? Because it's about respecting this industry too. But let me tell you what I go say. I've been around artists, because you probably talking about the ones who go fight up in it. Now I don't want to call names, but it have big artists in the soca fraternity. Big ones, the ones who have money. We know them. And we even just talking about Marshall and Bungie and thing, right? It have other artists in soca who have money too. Come on, men have bread. You understand? You know, a lot of dancehall artists does just bring men with them sometimes just because too. Like, that just how they live with the people. Like, they might be going on vacation and they might just carry the brethren because it's a type of living now. It's a type of way dancehall artists does see life. Even me, right? The culture I come from. If I get rich now, Chinese wanna play with me every week. Just because.
But
yes,
here, all right, okay.
That's how we grow in the inner cities, which pattern the dancehall culture. That's why we relate to dancehall, because we live that same life, holding your brethren down. If I get rich, I can't switch. That's a code, we can't do that, you understand? So I think that in the dancehall world, when men thinking it's just money, is more loyalty than money, because I know a lot of soca artists, the promoters book all you have 4 tickets, or they leaving home the cameraman to bring a girl. Now do they a real thing. Men doing these things. Men going Uber soca cruise and bringing 2 hottie with them. Hottie her room in the Uber super.
No.
Wait! The artist not there. No young little shepherd man with a guitar there. A hottie day too. She and she sister. Them day. You understand? I did the real things. You understand? Men go in so for show, foreign wherever, and they bringing girls with them. They go post it on social media.
Yeah.
But this is how artists does live. They're telling the girl, book the ticket. We in Miami. It's Miami Carnival. Naldo, let me play, we don't know how this life
there,
is.
but you see,
so when that's now, so when men trying to make me believe that Cartel and them could only do that because the price and the promoter just live with them a certain way, that is a lie. Yes, Cartel and I'm going through fuckery with the promoters too. Look, the other day, Cartel was supposed to do a show with me. It was Costa Rica, one of them, and the promoter never get the license. The dog had to go back home, he vex. You understand? So it has happened to the best of the artists. You understand? But don't make me believe that Sean Storm say he never see no soca artists with no young artists with them. Like all the man did see. And it's a fact. And we could make excuses. We could say it's the money. We could say it's the promoter. We could say it's the what. But the reality is, it have a lot of soca artists right now, in the younger generation too, that had the bread, and could make them steps and they wouldn't do it. Some of them making 5,000 US a show and thing, dog. 8,000 US a show and thing.
But
you telling me
but
2025.
Yeah, but here we know.
Them can't buy a ticket for two brethren and say let we go and keep the thing
flowing. But let we
flowing.
have a real conversation, bro. Some of the most ungrateful people you'll find
Is artists.
is soca artists.
But that don't mean they have to stop do the thing.
Right? So at the end of the day, it's a real artist who tell they get burned, dog.
But it's a real grateful artist too.
Right? And the
So
grateful
we can't
artist should
forget
get
that.
the grateful artist should get a play.
Yeah.
The grateful artist should get a play.
But I don't want to go back in the conversation of like artists busting artists, because we don't talk about that already now. I don't want to go back into that too much, but I just saying that I believe that what Sean Tom saying is true, right? We really don't see that culture, but people trying to get me to believe.
It's a motive. No, I'm not
bust right now. As an artist, and a man gave me 2,000 US in Barbados. I carry an artist with me.
Serious?
I could never touch Hennessy artistry in Barbados and Rassi not there with me. How?
Now,
They music, Naldo.
I not say no.
They no fucking.
But-
They all you have to do is bring a man with you and let him get 2 minutes on that. That dog. That is literally how the industry does try.
No, I tell you,
All,
right?
now, all big artists, Nicki Minaj, Drake, Lil Wayne, 50 Cent, Snoop Dogg, Tupac, Biggie Smalls, somebody bust them by.
Yeah,
them never bust by just Eminem.
Yeah, but
Dr. Dre
all them thing are machinery behind it.
No, but
so I don't want to class them with us.
Machine is perspective, right? As he said, I's a machine by myself. I boss artists right here.
No, but what I say, they have machinery with money behind it.
Nobody don't matter.
Right? So I think that's the difference.
As small as the machine is, you have to use the machine. It are men who are small waka and it are men who are big tractor. But you have to use the machine. If you are an artist and you're making 5,000 US a show,
right,
it have no reason you should be there by your fucking self. And you know that the industry is crying out for more talent. That is why the Jamaican industry thriving. That is why the hip-hop industry thriving. Even the Afrobeats, the first thing that they do is grab a man and bring them with them.
All right, so then I have plenty
Men making excuses with money,
right? It have plenty things to break down here, right? It have plenty things to unpack. One, I think Jamaica and dancehall have an actual industry. That's one.
But them do agree with that.
Right?
Them that say them do have an industry.
Right? Well,
so again, machine is machine. Right? Everybody.
Here I think our next funny thing here is that you see the problem with soca music, and it being attached to Carnival. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you have a dancehall song. A dancehall song is not made for a particular time alone, right? That's one. Because everybody kind of racing. At the end of the day, Carnival is a competition. You know? Everybody's kind of racing to get a song play and to get the big song and to get the boss. So it's very hard for you to look to boss somebody else. Whereas, right, with dancehall, you making lifelong music. You understand what I'm saying?
So soca not lifelong?
Right now, no.
I wouldn't say that.
Oh, listen.
I think soca fans love soca.
Right, yeah, but
and them listening to soca regardless.
But
who don't like it, who find it's not a big genre, them in tune.
No, listen. Now, people will grab what I'm saying here. I'm not saying that people don't listen to soca all year round, but soca artists don't live plenty soca artists don't live all year round off of soca.
Right. And I'm not talking about the ones who can't do it, because I understand that the soca industry don't have much artists. Alright, let me say artists like Skinny Fabulous.
Right.
Big artists. Big! Successful artists. Them don't carry nobody no way with them. Bungie Garlin. Big artist, successful artist.
I mean, man, carry dung like a dung now.
Dung? You carry a man that done day?
Like a dung now.
No, but die what them rather do?
Dung might
them rather
never
boss a man that
dung might
done
never
day?
be an artist if he wasn't rolling.
Yeah, but I dung, dog. I talking about men who really deserve the chance. Dung means say dung you deserve the chance. Big up yourself, ding dong, but I ain't deal. Like be real, dog. It have men. Look at Sucre. I never know Sucre.
I heard him.
Sucre, he win the so-called monarch thing, the youth version of it.
Okay.
Remember, he named Blackadder and
when
and he win Them do get sucre no forward, dog. It's like they just ignore the youth. There are plenty artists we could call. I know in my heart, like if our artists really just say, no, let me just put my hand around some men and develop that type of culture because it's not hard in Naldo.
No, but the thing is, no, don't get me wrong. No, but don't get me wrong. It have artists who doing it,
Like who?
But they're not from here. Like let me tell you, see King Baba and them. King Baba. It had a crew of them used to roll outside there. King Baba. This fella from St. Lucia, boy. Bald fella. Ali.
Yeah, Tedderson.
Right? Tedderson.
No, you see, you see, them, what you talking about is help. And I understand that in the industry of soca, everybody does help. Like,
not helping, no. Yeah, what I'm telling you.
Does give men strength.
No. Yeah, what I'm telling you. Dealing with them artists and them, that group from outside, right? Yeah. When Drew was part of that team too.
Right.
I could tell you. Sometimes we link in bookings with them, and they will tell you, what's going on. It's this price for Drew,
right.
But just throw an extra 1,000 and you'll get this one too now, boy.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Drew was done an established artist.
No. But what I'm saying, but the other artists, they were doing things to help.
Clicking up.
Right? But it was still helping. It was still helping.
Nah.
Because
the problem there. Die clicking. So like if Naldo is my brethren, and you have a brethren that do dancehall, you bring he by me, and I give he a strength. Nah! What about...
But it had to start somewhere. It
been that way. Because remember, when I said soca artists do bus artists, you know what it always referred to? Marshall with Ecstatic and Bungie with the Asylum family. But I see the same thing when you're talking about there. Marshall click up artists. Patricia Roberts already had a hit. Umi, now win soca star. All them things. So... He watched it from a more business standpoint. He didn't watch it from a, I'm going to help these youths. No, he said, but she real bad. She done get
where you saying
you understand?
All right.
He know when soca star, like he, come in by me. And all of we go on tour together and we go look like a band. And them days too, is Cash Money Records, is things. So men wanted that kind of strength. But that know what I talking about.
No, but I still don't think you should discredit that.
No, that is a vice by itself. But that is clicking up. That is me linking with Swanee and linking with Byron, and we create reality team and we all over the place together. But all of we individually have strength, so we don't really need each other. Marshall give them strength and then benefit from the strength. Also him, he benefit by bringing out these men. Don't make it look like them alone was benefiting. Right. But there's a difference when I never hear about somebody and you have the ability to bust that man. But to me, that is what the industry needs.
Before we wrap up that part of the conversation, I just let you know, me as a promoter, back in the days when I train FET and I train party, if I hire you as an artist, and you bring any artist, I don't know to sing on my stage, I'll never hire you again.
That's not true.
And I'm telling you,
that's not true.
That's me, That's me.
No, let me tell you why that's not true. Because you had the ear for talent.
I agree.
Right? But clicking up is what them just do. Clicking up, and that's why...
But me talking about the Marshall thing, I talk more generally.
No, I'm going to make my point. Clicking up is the reason it don't work. Because all them just do is grab people that are wrong people, but they're not necessarily what the people on the street really like. So you could take a man because he is Major Lazer cousin. Because that would be going on, That's the reality, You take he, and you try to bust it to the world. A promoter course him because, alright, but you ain't good. You ain't really impacting this thing right now. But when you have an ear for talent, like people like Vybz Kartel and Bounty Killer and Lil Wayne and Dr. Dre and P. Diddy and DJ Khaled and all these moguls that have ear and an eye, when Jay-Z see Rihanna, he say, I wish you could have sing. You understand? Because he know that is a star. He had the eye for it now, boy. When you had the eye for it now, whatever you put out there is going to work. So promoter go and stand up and say, all right, youth man. That's the reality now.
I think you're looking for
when you don't have the eye.
No, I understand exactly what point you're making.
It has people who don't have the eye and they bring men out on the stage and it was licks. Cartel ever miss?
He will team.
Weezy and them ever miss. Dr. Dre ever miss.
Yes, I think
don't miss.
Yeah, but I still think it's two different cultures.
Nah, I do it now, low. Yes. I see men who nobody didn't care about.
Yeah, but
I had a small platform on the streets.
Yeah.
Nobody don't matter. I had a small platform on the streets, and I say, let me use it to show what I believe is real talent. So maybe them men probably just don't have an eye for talent. That's why probably there's bandwagoners and just wait until a man bust. You feed them with that see Lady Lava 3 years ago and say she gonna be a star today. Be real.
No.
But you know we saying she just start long time,
yeah,
right? But that's my point now.
No, but
we have the ear and the eye for talent.
Yeah,
maybe them just don't have it. And that is why the wheel running so slow. New men have to take position now. And boss men, and we've been doing it. But we just wish we do it with less. We do it with, dog, now look, I gain men forward by just coming on this couch, dog. You understand, lil me, a man sit down here, he calling me next day and saying, boy, thanks, boy, KG, boy, no, I get a booking, boy. All the time, nobody ain't putting no light on me, boy, as soon as you give me an interview, boy, get through, boy. Like, real thing, you understand? So, any day, if I could do that with my little light, why them can't make a conscious effort to do the same?
Nah, I think the culture.
Yeah. So I not from here then?
No, let me tell you why.
I'm from Jamaica.
Because dancehall culture.
Spani from Jamaica.
Dancehall culture, hip hop culture is different to soca culture.
You could do it in
because
soca.
Let me tell you why, right?
Could do it.
It's a man. No, I can't realize I dig myself into a grave here, but no, I've been honest. No, I realize I can't. I realize I'm certain of myself here because, as we don't say, it has certain artists,
right,
who, because of how the soca culture is, there's a song and afraid to sing it. And these artists who I would say pretty good.
Right.
But I say I dig myself into a grave, I certain of myself because I'm a man like Prophet who will come with a soca song that nobody know,
right,
and will work it and make it work.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? But I think plenty times, and what I'm saying is culture because dancehall plenty of times they are willing to listen to something new. Soca plenty of time, and plenty DJs will tell you that.
Yeah.
It is that back and some go off it, and they try to play the new music, and people like they're not taking it. Now it could be that they're just listening to it and absorbing.
It is a real thing you're saying there. I'm not doubting in no kind of way, but it all stems from just the way how they do things. Like big up Laura. I never know Laura from Loop Titi.
Right,
Loop Titi.
Yeah.
I know she's still working there. I think she came in Ireland, some kind of thing. But she's a journalist, right? Right, and she's write articles, whatever. And she was saying that somebody say in the group they wanted to do a page like Shade Room now, boy, you know, like to post content from soca artists. Like
right.
a Shade Room, but for soca artists. And she was like, she had that idea some years ago, but soca artists online, she say on the media, very boring. Now she say it don't have content outside of just probably pictures or dinner fete or Nyla in a bad suit on a beach, you know, but it don't really have no real engagement within the industry.
Right.
To see like what are we going to post? That is why the platforms like this, you see, like all them soca mafia talk and thing. Even though them soca artists vex and KJ and Bacchanal, the people love that. And I believe that made a difference in the Carnival this year. It shake a little thing under the music. You need that, right? But I believe that the soca industry, and we talked about this already, the soca industry had to really shake up. Even Nyla talked about it the other day. I never see the video. Nyla made a video and she was talking about she was in the Rolls Royce and she she showed the money or some kind of thing. So and she say why other genres of music could flex, but
we can't flex. Yeah.
Now she spark a thought in the industry there. You know, like Nyla's a young one, well fairly young, right? But you have to listen to them. You know, like listen to the saying. That is what is holding back the industry. We could do it. Like how you say the culture is different. It is not different. Trinidad is a cool place too. It's just that these gatekeepers make the rules. But we have to break them rules now and show that, hey, it's 2025. People love soca music. The music songing good. The youths and them spearheading the thing. Big up Voice, big up Young Brother, big up Lady Lava, big up Full Blown, big up who else? All the youths and them in the thing. Yeah.
Big up the youth from Trinidad, who doing thing,
Black Adan, Kutain, Nessa Preppy. You know, when I really observe what the youth and them doing with the music, it's songing good, it's looking good, it's feeling good. You know, so now it's just to add that little flavor that we was always missing, and the thing go be good. Now young brother could, look at young brother for instance, right? Look how he bust pimping and thing. Because it's a simple thing, you know. He have a show that he does do, and he carve this man up next to him every single show. Once that man have star quality, and that man had the potential to be a star, he is going to be a fucking star. So, them fellas in the soca thing could try the same thing. Understand the concept of it. Marshall on a stage, every show bring out the man for 2 minutes. If he is shit, he is shit. But if he is it, he will be it. Like Voicey. Before Voicey boss, I knew that once they get that youth man a chance, he would have been the biggest thing. I tell you, Naldo, the reason why I'm so passionate about this is because I remember I worked with these men when there was nothing. And I know all it took was a co-sign. Like all men was asking for somebody to come and Marshall get the dog the co-sign. Like be real. He get the co-sign. He was under Blacks. You know, every Marshall Monday, Marshall short to bring him out. He used to talk about him, voice. When he bring him out on stage, he would say, "This is the future." Marshall held big up that youth man dog. Intentionally too. But he also knew voice was really that talented now. You know, so I just want to see more of that, bro.
But the thing is, I want to carry this on too long, but
we could do it.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I think it is be difficult from the perspective of Chinis generally, boy. It is seem in an event setting, it is seem like they're not accepting
but
the
I
new
feel
stuff.
So all over the world now, though. If you go in New York right now and go on a rooftop party and upcoming artists singing, people go stand up and watch them. But after the third, fourth, fifth time,
but
it does.
Nah, but I know in Jamaica
we want overnight success. That is not how it does work. Ice Cube had to put Chris Tucker in Friday before he get rush hour by. Let me be real. I just want to see more of that. I want to see more belief.
Right.
Believe in men. Ice Cube believe in Chris Tucker. You understand? He believe in all the actors who work in Friday. That was the first movie, you know.
Plenty of them,
yeah, majority of them. That was the first movie. Megan Good. All of them. That was the first movie. And today, everybody in that movie is a star. So, you know, so why we can't do the same thing too? And people do the same thing for them, you know. Like be reading, Marshall. I watch pictures with Marshall and them Kitchen and Sparrow holding them up in the air. I love, I support. That does do a lot. You understand? That do a lot. But yeah.
Right. But so
what else we are talking about in the agenda?
And
use the topic, man.
Man, so that's the topic, man.
Yeah,
yes.
use the topic, man. You could do about 2 more topics, 3 more topics.
This sick thing, boy, dog, boy. Yeah, boy, dog.
Yeah, I had a sweat one time on one, yes. Oh God,
I think. No, in my opinion, no. I understand. KG is keep it real.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, if I was saying on there, at some point I was going to cut the interview.
Right.
I've been honest with you.
Yeah.
You see the threatening people and people's family, bro.
Yeah. Wow.
That is it.
Yeah. That was a yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, you see the threatening people and the people family. When I start to see that, I been honest with you, bro.
Yeah.
I start to get real uncomfortable.
No, everybody let me know, but I wanted to jump in that phone and pick up that man.
Right? I start to get real uncomfortable, boy.
Yeah. But I mean, real, I started to feel disrespected after a while. That way, I say, dog, you disrespecting my dog, and sound like you're overdoing it. But at the same time, I allow him to just be himself because that's what this platform is for. You know, all different types of personalities now, but I not going and cut a camera just because he like that.
No, it's not that. That's not more.
He hurt and he expressed it.
Yeah, but here's my thing, bro.
Yeah.
I think I was telling China.
Yeah.
Horse that we're not going into legal framework here now.
How he incriminating himself?
How he incriminating himself and tying you up with it now, boy.
How he tying me up?
Of course, because it was on your platform.
Yeah.
They could kind of want to see that he has part and parcel of it now, boy.
Now we fighting that case.
You know what I'm saying? So that's
fighting that.
No. Thankfully, the broadcast licenses and things don't cover things like YouTube and social media and
I understand that.
Right?
That's why I mean really study it, you know.
Because
free speech.
Right? Remember Trinidad do a free speech, eh? I know Trinidad, that's not in our constitution, eh?
Damn. It's a good thing. But then anyway. I was going to say, well, my YouTube on the American address now, you know, it's not Trinidad young man. Yeah, but big up Sika. You know, I never watch your whole interview, but you know, we trash it out. At the end of it all, I really didn't believe it was him. I'm not too sure, but again, the benefit of the doubt. And I also just try to explain to him that the importance of the business and all them things. With every interview that I do, and you can attest to this too, no matter what bacchanal we talk, we had to bring substance to it.
Right, yeah.
So even the interview I do last night with Squid and Brady talking about shade mischief and thing. Yeah, we talk about bacchanal for a whole half an hour, but then we still break it down and, you know, I still try to get you to advice. And so with no matter what you see on this program, and again, you know, people, they just watch a little clip on Instagram, on TikTok, and say I promoting bacchanal and think, dog, relax all yourself, you know. I on a mission, you know. You understand? And I understand that sometimes the only way to bring awareness is through entertainment now, not necessarily bacchanal. Oh God, bacchanal is a Trinidad word now. In America, in Jamaica, they call that entertainment, bro. That is entertainment at its finest.
Birdman walking
Breakfast Club
studio.
You understand?
You understand?
You understand? Put respect on my name. You dig? But yeah, you know, as I say, yeah, even though like bacchanal and them thing, we go always simmer down and you know, talk the right thing.
One of the things I got from that interview, right, is because I dealing with the individual himself, right?
Right.
No, I never met this person. Didn't know him before this interview, right? The youth man talking here, and he seems like a normal person, he seems like a normal person.
Right.
I can't say I want to say a good person, but he seems like a normal person.
Yeah, a normal dude, yeah.
And then reach from that to that.
You know, I tell Chinese, I say that interview is a case study. If you have a broad mind, you could watch that interview and you could pinpoint so many different things now. You will see trauma, you will see hurt, you will see confusion, you would see he is a normal person, you will see everything. And I believe that interview, when I watch it from top to bottom, can remember it went from and then it rise and then it come right back down when Pronto wife come on the phone and she talk to him and thing and
the man he started with all the vexy he started she really tell me that I know that.
Now I say like a case study because
I was like
people ask me how I deal with that and I tell them I accustomed to that type of behavior, like it not as dread as how he have it, he have it bad like dread, but it's just level states, you know, like a lot of youths who grow up like how he grew up, that's how it is. And I always had to be a big brother in a lot of men's life. So I had to be the one to stand up and watch men trip off, and I had to be the calm one. I had to be the designated driver, brother. I know about that life, you know. Up to this day, I go out there, I see my bedroom drinking a little too much, but it's water. We not dying tonight. You're fucking mad. You understand? So when he was getting on, so he said, how calm I was. I watching this so like, dog, what happened to you? Boy, like, relax yourself. You think? But Seka is a good youth, man. You understand? People that say real things about him. He's a thief. He this, he that. You know, I think, nobody is perfect.
That's the thing I look at, and as I say, it's a deeper thing. In terms of, and this is something that I real people, and I want the inner city youth, as they say, you have to watch this. Because plenty of the times, plenty of them is good you too in us. Because I tell people this, when they hear their mother cry and say he was a good boy. Because he was a good boy who home to his mother and he was good enough.
It's real weird enough.
Yeah, but when he go out there and something play off and he respond a particular way, he respond a kind of like Sika. You understand what I'm saying?
When you see somebody crying, you see a criminal die and you see people bawling. You feel them bawling because he was bad. You feel that pain coming from a bad experience, that pain coming from good times now, boy. You know, lovable times.
But I think it's
so weird now,
it's something we had to study in terms of, when I say we as a society, to see that people could go from here to here now, boy.
So easy too.
And when they could go from here to here, so easy.
I don't watch that.
Yeah, and we could see that if we have people, if we have plenty of people like that walking around, if you say this way,
that is why there's much killing.
Right.
Can you hear what you were saying?
Yeah.
You say I look at the berry bunny.
Right. And I think that is important for our society to understand.
Like I say, I watch it as a case study. I hope people look at it and understand. Yeah. You see how it is?
Sometimes it's not, you know, watch it from this perspective. when you meet somebody and they react a particular way sometimes, a bit arrogant or whatever the case may be, don't watch it as that person, that's that person's whole life now, but that's all about that person.
Right, correct.
Sometimes stop and wonder, what has caused this person to be that way? You understand what I'm saying?
And sometimes they really don't have the knowledge and the capacity
to
control it.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to he and he not listening to me, dog. But as I tell Chinese, right? I tell Chinese, I say, the words you use to people is a hell of a thing. That is why I use the word, you don't respect me. I intentionally use the word respect, because as much as he vex, when he hear that word, it will always strike a chord.
If it's one thing in the inner city, as we would say,
respect
is a serious
code.
thing. Yeah.
Respect is the code. When a man tell you, dog, and then you're disrespecting a man who you know you're not supposed to disrespect. So you will feel that type of way. Other people would not be able to talk to he like that. You understand? They might be like, but what the mother can't you doing? For me, time you say what the mother can't you do, and you're talking he jungle language. He go and reply with jungle language. Yeah, they're talking about a different way.
So you know who I want? You know who I want to look at that too?
Yeah.
The police boy, dog boy. Because plenty times, if the police don't come with certain energy, things could.
No, it's a real thing. It's really hard to talk to people. Yeah. Like, as I say right now, boy. When you're talking about like certain people grew up with certain parents, even myself, you know, I grew up with one parent in my household. But my father was still wrong, as in the sense I can still call him and that kind of thing. My mother was a great mother. And just the way she used to talk to me, dog, I know that is why I am how I is today. That is why I still could maneuver through life a certain way and not be a cunt, not be a hothead. Because my mother used to talk to me, like, talk to me, Khalif. No, like she just sit around with me and give me, we used to quite lectures. You know, she would sit around and she would just have conversations with me. So I grew up under that type of energy now. But a lot of youths don't have that. They never grow up with conversation. Everything is rah rah.
It are plenty youths who growing up and they mother cussing them from them his son come up.
Rah rah, boy. Yes, boy.
So, and I think we need to accept that and understand that we dealing with different people and they can't bring the same energy to people all the time now, boy. And so I think, as you say, it's a good case study. It's something that
a good case study.
A lot of the people in higher positions should look at, not for, but you know, but to understand what it have walking around out there, and hopefully.
And how to deal with it. A lot of people tell me, boy, KG, boy, you are rated for your composure. And I say, I hope I'll learn from my composure. You understand? Don't just rate me from my composure. I learn from it. Understand that is how we have to deal with each other too now, boy. Even with the guy Griffith, the same thing. People say, no, don't just say that. Understand that is how we have to live. Not because a man, you know, try to insult you.
A man act up.
Your first instinct is to, but you should tell the only mother cunt. Why should I tell the only mother cunt? For what?
And then to all scramble and he joy fireman.
The bullet. And now, you know, I disrespectful. I did. So we are living love, boy. We are the reason with each other and thing, boy. Now, we talking about that from since inception. Okay, but me and you meet through that same kind of vibes. You know, you say what you have to say on TikTok. I never watch that and frown. I watch and say, all right, interesting take. I bring the dog on the podcast and then we have a conversation and see what's the vibes. You understand? So, we're living love and living reasoning, man. Yeah. You have any more topics, man?
Which one I had the
I feel I had to say, welcome to Talks with KG with my co-host Naldo, the man with all the topics.
What I want to find out, right? Is what determines which artists are Trinibad artists or not. Because I hear people saying Shade Mischief is a Trinibad artist.
I don't know why you say that.
I am
Squid, I don't know why you say that.
Confused.
Squid, I don't know why you say that.
Also, it had the you see the youth man who are on the UNC jersey, you say he was going to tie up all the PNM voters and them, and they see he is a Trinibad artist too.
Then let's go, man. I hate that, though. No, I'm glad you bring up that point, bro, because, let me settle this once and for all, please. Right? Not because you're singing music means that Trinibad artist, bro. I know how it does go, dog. You understand? Trinibad is a movement. You have to be part of the movement to consider yourself a Trinibad artist. Certain things you have to do, certain things you have to
subscribe to.
Yes, dog. Oh, God. Image everything. You could be a Trinibad artist and you just in our slippers, a jersey, and singing about cock up your bumper and all kind of thing. That is not Trinibad. I know what we represent. You see that? When Trinidad started, that's what you were seeing. That's not what you see. Just like if a man say he's a chutney artist, but he ain't subscribing to what chutney is. Nah, Squid and all call Shade Mischief a Trinidad artist too on the interview. I didn't say nothing, but I was like, why people is using that term, dog? Trinidad. First of all, I believe Trinidad gone. Let me put that there one time. Trinidad gone. Trinidad not here no more. Trinidad is something that was created. It do its thing, and it still have artists that are representing for the Trinidad. You know, big up artists like Cayman and you know, Plumpy and Swanee and them still representing.
Even Byron
Messiah, you know, them still representing for what is Trinidad. But Trinidad gone. Like, we had to be real about that too, you know. Trinidad branch off into other things. But the word Trinidad, like the brand of what was Trinidad, that to me is history.
And that
I hear a staple.
That
was a time. That was a movement. That's not a genre music. Dancehall is the genre.
Right.
Trinidad was the movement. We used to say Trinidad in our music. We used to say Trinidad. You understand? We used to rep it. We used to say it. We used to create aesthetics around what was Trinidad.
But you know, outside of Trinidad, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people see Trinidad as a genre. You know
right,
that?
but it also, as I say, things just grew. So it was like Calypso, and Calypso grew into soca, and now you're seeing soca growing into like an Afro soca thing, and everything just grew as time go by now. So what I would say when I say Trinidad gone, I don't mean like Trinidad dance all gone.
No, yeah, I know.
Remember it was Trinidad first, right? And then they had to say zest.
Right.
Now they say steam. They don't even say zest no more. They call men steam artists. Young brother is a steam artist. Lava is a steam artist. And also different terms that's coming because it's changing. Trinidad was men with long gold chain, singing about beatum, big up the beatum, big up sea-lots. That was Trinidad, you know, representing representing for areas that people wasn't representing for. Remember, it's Trinidad.
Right.
Trinidad is marketed as Maracas, the west side, Carnival, and then Trinibad was represented as St. Paul Street, Duncan Street, Maloney Buildings. You know, let's be real. If you had to get technical on what Trinidad was representing, it was that. And then the zest come, which was the more dancey side of it. Men wasn't wearing no long gold chain and thing. Just like the steam. Them not promoting long gold chain wearing and I from the Paul and I from the Beatum. That's what Young Brandon representing. That's what Lava representing. Them representing the party culture now of Trinidad music now, boy, in the inner cities. So that's why I go say you can't just call a man a Trinidad artist, because Trinidad is a representation of something. Just like how steam, just like how soca, just like how chutney, just like how reggae is it's a culture.
No, what's it?
A culture.
You know, I'm Babsy
from Barbados, right?
Yeah, right. So the day she was doing one of her, because I think she stopped doing lives now. She's just kind of recording and
she talk about Trinidad.
So before
you even talk, let me just say this. I want to cut you, but before you talk, I hate when I talk about Trinidad, boy. Every time I see somebody who not in Trinidad talk about Trinidad, it has upset me, man.
No, the thing is, and she was giving it a lot of respect, right? Because it was talking about the same Carnival issue, which we were getting to before we wrap, and she was saying that it have nobody, right, that fight people out of anything like Jamaicans now, boy.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Fight people out.
And keep people out of their thing now, boy.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
True.
So the point she was making is, watch Trinidad had to kind of make their own avenue, and they make Trinidad, and then she kind of started to say, tell Trinidad kind of started outweigh dance, so like Jamaican dance, so like kind of way now, boy.
Had that time.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, it had that time.
So that's what I'm saying. Now, I think it might not be a wise idea to let that branding fall to the side now, boy.
No, I don't think it'll fall to the side. I just think that what is Trinidad? It changed because we call it Trinidad for a reason. Remember that? We literally say Trinidad because it was like a a bad boy energy. I ain't saying criminal energy. It had the criminal element, but it was like a rude boy energy. That's what we was marketing. So that's why, because everything about name, we Trinidadians like to just name thing and kind of thing. So we name it Trinibad. You had to ask yourself why we call the next thing zest, because it was really a zest. It was in our party and it was a zest thing. And then we had to ask yourself why we call it steam. Because it's steamy lyrics, a short side with my girls this summer, thing. You could bend, whatever thing. So it's like, I'm not saying Trinidad dead in that aspect. I don't want people to feel like that is a day. Came and represented for Trinidad very well.
Right.
Like he could drop a video right now and that Trinidad aesthetic that going to work. Byron could drop a video right now that going to work. Swanee could drop a video right now that going to work. But remember we talking about men who just seeing the Trinidad artists now. I don't see no new Trinidad artists as we speak. Like it don't have
nobody coming up.
Right, no new Trinidad artists that could say. So all them men who just say in Trinidad, that not true, dog. Well, it's not Trinidad. I believe the last Trinidad artist, the boss, is K-Man. Where you go say Johnny? Nah, I want to be wrong. Nah, Jassy. Right. I had to pick up Jassy. I want to leave out Jassy, boy. You see? And I had to pick up Jassy. Yeah, pick up Jassy. Jassy representing for Trinidad. You understand? So I don't want people to misconstrue or say and feel like I mean Trinidad dead. But real men just singing music and saying it's Trinidad.
But I think
Trinidad halt right now.
I think
looking for artists right
it's
now.
important for the people who might be at the helm, yourself, Paul, and I know all the relationship is like whoever was at the helm, I think incorporate it, figure out who's your CEO, who's your chairman, whoever the case may be.
Trinidad under reconstruction right now.
And let men sign. And we signing now. We signing that it don't want to be like
sign
a recorded. Yeah.
Now say these artists ungrateful. We got to take them to court.
Well, at least no, you have something to.
We got to take them to court.
Well, at least you got something to take them to court with. You have people to take them to court with now.
I'm telling you.
Because and this way, because because as I say, here we might be talking about it much, and then you remember the violence thing kind of kill it here a little bit.
Yeah.
But outside, it's still picking up. Outside, people still recognizing it. And so you want. At some point, if they start to reach out, let them reach out. They can reach out to KG or they can reach out to whoever, and then you go
and do it the right way.
Yeah, and you go touch whoever, and you go touch whoever.
Do it structure.
You
because I think that's a good point to bring up, because I think that is why Trinidad slowed down, right? Because in the beginning of the whole Trinidad movement, men like myself, men like Pun, men like Chidi, men like Kelly Bates, a lot of men was in the thing, and there was genuinely helping artists. So we were shooting videos for them, guiding them along the way, distributing the music, recording, mix and master. So they didn't really have to do much. And then a lot of ungratefulness come into play, bro. And men get traumatized.
Right.
So even myself, I could admit, I don't know if men really enough to admit these things, but I pull away from a lot of things in the Trinidad now, I pull away from really going all out for youths now, boy, Obviously, I would still have youths around me who I'd be helping, but I was a different animal, bro. Ask about me. Ask Chinese. I used to go and shoot video, go down in the beat wherever it is, leave Arima, go and shoot a video. Now, come home, around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the night, sit down and edit that video. One time. 2, 3 in the morning, it's done. I released a Meds Boss video or Swanee video 9 in the morning. That's how I was. I was an animal dog, and I was doing this because I really had faith in them, and I thought that when men bust, all of we would go to the top now, and that is not how it does go. You understand? So, brother, I get fucked up, and my heart bleeding.
People will get.
So, as I say, but what you were saying, that was a good point, as in, I guess that's why it slowed down, because men stop. So as you say, we have to get the paper.
Yeah, and then if you come in and no money for to pay for no rhythm, you don't want to pay for no video.
But then you tell them sign no contract,
right?
And that's the next thing too.
I think the brand is so big now that men force to sign. Think about it. Because that's the difference.
It go some little youths who real thirsty who go sign, but
but think about it. This same team of men putting in that same effort right?
The must bus.
And you're bossing these youth men, and the ones who didn't want to sign, what will end up happening?
Yeah.
They will be forced to come and sign.
True.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mafia.
And
Trinidad mafia. Yeah, it's your Naldo never stink. It's your Naldo never stink. It's all this make on himself. It's all this make on himself. The dread.
But how I mean?
You want a mafia, the Trinibad.
Hey, listen. Right? I will take a cut on the top, right? There was nothing. But I mean,
true. Business is business.
Right? And as we talk about business is business.
Yeah.
Here Jamaica say business is business.
Let me wrap
we
it up
coming for
with
the
that.
thing.
Let me wrap it up with that.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
Good,
3 minutes?
Yeah.
On what?
Card.
Of course! Like, gotta get next card, boy.
No, give me 10. You go see what you see with the phone in. Right. So yeah, what do you think about that?
Alright, so here's the thing with Jamaica. Now a lot of people seem to believe it could never happen. I am not one of those. They may not be able to be the capital of Carnival for the type of Carnival we have here. And I think last time I talked about this in your podcast, people come from it.
Oh God, they deal with you.
Yeah, and that is fine.
The man say what? You say spice mass?
Yeah.
Spice mass, the best mass ever.
Right? No, the thing is, a lot of the people talking there, I know they never fly nowhere.
True.
They never go nowhere. You understand what I'm saying? No, listen, I will continue to say Trinidad and Tobago has the biggest and most commercial
Carnival.
carnival
I mean,
here.
we is carnival.
Right? This is the prettiest carnival, and obviously we have all the history behind it, and right? But those different places, they present a different package. Right? And it is not impossible for our next place package to seem more attractive. If you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People have this idea.
Because you're selling our product basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? People have this idea that because it's the original, let's be the original, and that's it.
Yeah, and that's not the reality of life.
Horse, let me think about
In
T20.
anything.
Let me think about T20 cricket and Test cricket. And Test cricket was first.
Correct.
How much people running the oval to go and watch Test cricket?
We don't want to watch that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And because have people who will still fight it, oh, Test cricket is the thing, and that's teach man all the blah, blah, blah. But how much will they go in and watch it?
Yeah, true.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, and I'm not saying this to put on Trinidad Carnival, probably we have things we need to work on. And I've seen some work going on, right? Let me play. It's what work going on.
Yeah.
But Jamaica, one thing Jamaica have over us, they have more rooms. They have more bedroom space. They're bigger than us.
Right.
2, they have plenty hotels. 3, they were built for tourists.
Right.
So it mightn't be the me and you.
Right.
We'll go Jamaica and say, good boy, this carnival better than Trinidad own. It might be us.
Right.
But what it might be is the white people who don't even know about Trinidad. Unfortunately, a lot of Trinidadians think that everybody knows about Trinidad.
Right.
No,
Yeah,
they don't.
true. Yeah.
Right? You walk, even New York, let's not even go into stranger places or places that don't have much Caribbean people, right?
Yeah.
You walk through New York, if you stop 10 people and ask them if they know about Trinidad and Tobago, at least you might get 2 people. You might get 2 people. And when they hear accent, they'll be like, that's like Jamaica. That's you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, real thing.
So at the end of the day, we have a possibility that they could create a product that could bring more tourists, more people with all the real feel for the Caribbean culture and want to go through, you know?
Right.
So we could, in my opinion, we can't take that light now, boy.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, some of the Trini promoters going and helping them.
Of course.
It's not like they're not going to help them.
Of course. But I think that what Trinidadians have a problem with. They're watching it like, all right, die true what you say there, but all it taking it from us as the sense of the DJs, the artists, the music, everything, you know, like basically without Trinidad, would Jamaica Carnival even be successful? So I guess that is like the spot there where it's like, you can't boast for that. Because if we tell the artists them now, hey, don't go there now. That is it.
No, we feel the artists, listen. We know
No, I just say but they ain't going to Jamaica Carnival. All you have a Jamaican Carnival, all you do are that. So just give thanks that, you know, because remember Calypso make reggae too. You understand? Give thanks for Trinidad, brother.
And Bob Marley said it, eh?
Bob
Marley said it.
Come on.
Yeah,
Trinidad is the Mecca. Don't disrespect the Mecca. Everything you say there is true because our product is our product. If in the next 10 years people say, I rather Jamaican Carnival than Trinidad Carnival, nobody can fight that. And nothing is wrong with that. I life. You understand? But don't go on the media. Because Jamaicans don't like when we disrespect them. You understand? So don't go on the media and disrespect the Mecca, brother. Trinidad is the Mecca. We is culture. You understand?
Well, I think we have some more to do in terms of, I think we have to cater to tourists better.
Of course.
We have to find a way because you can't just come out and build more hotels, right? Because the hotels will be empty throughout the year.
True.
How they will maintain.
True.
You see this thing they did with the Epic Cruise, where they just bring the boat, and the boat is be like a floating hotel.
Yeah.
Probably if you get 2-3 more of that.
Yeah.
Again, to have more feet on the ground.
Right.
And yeah, but I don't want people feel that Jamaica Carnival could never get bigger in terms of numbers and cash. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, we will always be the most natural and the realest, or whatever the case may be. But they could end up bringing more tourists to their island. They could end up making more money from it.
Right.
To feel
true. I really think.
Yeah.
So now, Leroy, it was a wonderful one, my brother.
Yes, I.
You dig? So, we go do this again. Big up yourself all the time.
Easy.
And the thing go. And that is it. Boom.